Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. A channel I know I've been ignoring for a very long time. Thanks for putting up with me and my procrastination. Today, I am very excited to share with you a swatch video of the latest Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 kit. So for those of you who are familiar with the brand would know the Hot Lips family is a series of lipsticks that pays tribute to iconic individuals of today's pop culture and the entertainment industry. This is also why I've decided to do this video in English, because I wanted to spare yourself and me from the awkwardness of jumping around between languages. So one last note before we jump into the swatching, I want to throw in a quick disclaimer. For those of you that have followed me for a while, I like to make this kind of disclaimer for pretty much every piece of content I do. So this video will contain PR samples, but it is not a sponsored piece of content. I hope you have faith in me that whether a piece of content is sponsored, it will in no way, shape, or form affect the quality, the opinion, and the honesty in the content I'm creating. I hope this kind of spirit carries through in a video as such. On that note, let's get in with the swatching and let's see how these lipsticks perform. So I have here with me Dance Floor Princess, which is the lightest shade of the Kissing family. So Dance Floor Princess, named after the legendary Kylie Minogue, is a kind of pinkish nude. It's a really light pinkish nude. Basically, all 5 kissing shades of the Hot Lips 2 collection are neutrals and nudes. Nudes of all forms. Nudes that are pinkish, nudes that are grayish, nudes that are peachish. It's just a lot of nudes. And to be honest, I don't know how well my Asian skin tone could pull this off, but let's see. I guess I kind of saw this coming. The Hollywood Lips collection from the Charlotte Tilbury brand last year pretty much had the same problem, which is half the shade families are so light, being on the nude spectrum, that they look sickish on Asian skin tones like mine. The Kissing formula has always been awesome. It's a very moisturizing kind of creamy shade. Still, I've said that once, I'll say it again. It made me look sick. I don't think I'll ever be using it, except for maybe a super punkish look with crazy smoky eyes, and that sounds pretty 60s. It's a really pretty neutral pink, I have to admit. It's a nice color, it's just not the right color for me. I think this is a shade that, before you put it on, you know it wouldn't look good on you, but it is also one of the first shades in the family that I've decided to buy, nonetheless, because it's named after J.K. Rowling. And I think this is one of the first collaborators of the Hot Lips collection where the icon involved is not an actress, a singer. She means so much more to pop culture of my generation, being the creator of Potterverse of this incredible magic world. So a lipstick named after her, I just could not get it, even though I know, like, looking at the shade on the website, I know it would not suit me. It has a slightly more opaque texture than Dance Floor Princess. It took Dance Floor Princess like 3 to 4 layers to build full coverage, but with JK Magic, I think it just took a stroke. It's a kind of peachy nude that also makes my skin pull off a lot more yellower than it should. Also my teeth, but I don't care because it's named after J.K. Rowling. Like, I don't give a shit. It's my lipstick. So if you're looking for a peachy nude, maybe JK Magic is a shade for you. Maybe if you're super pale, this is also the kind of lipstick for you. Like JK herself. Actually, if you've seen her makeup, her red carpet look created by Charlotte Tilbury, you would know she, like Gong Li, is a super big fan of nude lipsticks, and right for her, just not right so for me. Oh, and I have to give credit to the case. The case in this collection is a refill and a case, and you can purchase those separately. So for those that are not a big fan of the case designs or just wanted the lip shade, you can definitely purchase the refills for a much better deal. I personally think JK Magic's case, which is like a universal starry moonlight kind of setting, is the most classy of all. The other few are a little too flashy. I like this a lot. Next up, we have Angel Alessandra. As you can tell from the name, it's pretty obvious there, no hints. Named after the legendary Victoria's Secret's Angel, Alessandra Ambrosio. Again, a nude. I think I have to repeat myself 5 times. This feels very similar to JK Magic. It's like a peachier a more pigmented, saturated, peachy nude. I feel like I'm abusing the use of these two words. Dislike, because it is a bit too orangey for my skin tone. It makes me look super yellowy, super sick, if not dead. Orangey tones have never really been my thing. It almost pulls a little neon, like it's a neon-y bright nude. It's almost like a salmon-y color. It just feels more like a blush, an eyeshadow, anything but a lip color. This is just not my kind of shade. Sorry. Next up, we have In Love with Olivia. Who doesn't fall in love with Olivia Palermo? The original Queen Bee, American socialite, it girl, model, entrepreneur, designer, whatever you call her. This is starting to bring me back into humanity. A pinkish zone that doesn't make me look dead. It's not really that flattering, but in comparison, it is a bit more tolerable than its sisters. It's a very innocent kind of neutral pink, doesn't pull too warm or cool. It's just a very harmless, mild kind of pink. Some guys may think you're not wearing lipstick because they just can't tell. It's a really pretty shade. I just couldn't really decide if it's for me because harmless is not a word for me. I think the more I look at it, the more I like it. It needs to pull it off well with yellowy skin I have. I would need a matching eye look and a blush look and an overall outfit. It's not something I'd intuitively grab, but it's a nice color.
That's right. So this is a half calf, double tall, easy hazelnut, non-fat, no foam, with whip, extra hot latte, right? Okay, great. Freak.
So last but not least, we have Glowing Jen after the legendary Jennifer Aniston, our forever Rachel. To my understanding, this is also the most popular shade of the entire Hot Lips family so far, and I think I can see why. It's kind of like a lighter, more subtle, less saturated, very neutral kind of rose. It's universally flattering across all skin tones, and of course, who does not love Rachel? Finally, a shade I think I would reach for pretty often. So Glowing Jen has a similar one-stroke opacity that is not quite a full cream, but not quite a matte, so kind of a semi-in-between. It's definitely not like Walk of Shame, or Bond Girl, or any one of the regular Charlotte Tilbury family offerings, and I think it looks great on me. It's not quite an MLBB, it feels a little more than an MLBB. Also not too much. It's not too saturated, isn't too bright, it's just very subtle, very graceful, very elegant, and very pretty, and is really flattering on yellow skin tones. It's the kind of shade I'd wear to an interview when you need to look presentable but not over the top. I think it totally deserves to be a bestseller. And I mean, I'm not the best person to say because I do have naturally very full lips, but I feel like it has a volumizing effect, considering how the undertone combines with that creamy texture that reflects the light, giving it a fuller, plumper kind of look. I like it a lot. So next up, we finally have 5 new matte revolutions in the Hot Lips collection. I have 4 of them to show you today. So first off, we have Karina Star. This is her second collaboration with Charlotte Tilbury. I have to say, the new Karina shade was not what I was expecting. She played it very safe last time with a bright, full-on red lip that I think no one would look bad in. But this time I was expecting also a very neutral, very safe kind of shade range, and instead we got a coral... I don't want to call it a nude because I feel like we've had a bit too much nudes in this collection. It's a in-between a nude and a coral, kind of muted coral, that preserves that kind of luminosity. It's not super bright, but it's not super, like, what am I talking about? It pulls almost neon-ish. It's cute, it's energetic, it's a very summery shade. It's not the kind of shade I'd wear for winter. I guess it's just because orangey shades are not my thing, but actually I have to admit, Karina Star does not look bad on me. It's not something I'd wear to work, but it's something I'd wear on holiday or hanging out with friends. Still couldn't decide if I like it, but it's a nice shade. I feel like I've been repeating myself for the past shade. Next up in the Matte Revolution family, we have Red Hot Susan, named after Susan Sarandon, Oscar-winning legendary actress who is still active on silver screen today despite being 73 years old. One of her most recent roles include Betty in the TV series Feud, Betty and Joan, portraying legendary actress Betty Davis, who was named after a NARS lipstick in one of the Audacious lipsticks. Oh my god, I think we're running out of female celebrities in recent history for us to be naming lipsticks after. It's good to be finally back into the red shade range after nudes after nude after nude. I don't know if I'm imagining this, but it almost feels like the Matte Revolution series in Hot Lips 2 have gone through a formula upgrade. So this, compared to the previous Matte Revolutions, feels more velvety, more lightweight, almost more moisturizing. Or maybe I'm just imagining things. Again, I have never been a big fan of orangey shades, but it's good to be back into a kind of more vivid saturation of lip shades. See how well it conceals my lip lines? The color just sits in it so well that you can feel it's a velvety kind of texture, but you can't really tell the lines. It doesn't dry your lips. That's actually pretty flattering. Not my kind of shade, but it's a nice shade. How many times have I said that? Oh god. So for the second last shade I have with me, Pasty Red, who is not named after a celebrity but named after Charlotte's mother herself, who of course is a very influential icon in her life and career. Wow, I'm a little lost in words. This is probably a surprising best for me from this collection so far. I thought my favorite would be Glowing Jet, but I actually really like Pasty Red. I was expecting it to be a true blue tone red that is beautiful, but it's just your typical classic red lipstick. But no, Pasty Red is a blue toned, muted red that has that subtle, fine line not stepping into the pink zone. It's a red, but it's a muted red. It's a very soft, velvety, toned down red that is not over the top in your face, but still very feminine. Very charming, very elegant, like rose petals, like Instagram filtered rose petals. This is a very pretty rosy kind of light red, but definitely not on the pink side, but a very soft, beautiful, fragile, dreamy red. Very flattering, very delicate, very beautiful. I feel like I've been using the word subtle a lot, so I think this kind of muted tonality is a common thread across all the different shades. And again, I definitely feel an upgrade in formula because you can feel that kind of velvety texture where light softly bounces off your lips, but it doesn't reveal any lines, nor does it sink in. It doesn't feel drying. It's so pretty. It's like the biggest surprise of the collection so far. I was not expecting it to be this cute. If I had to describe it, and I could not fish out this word in English, so unfortunately I'm still confusing everyone, switching between Chinese and English. 它是一个非常柔和、丝绒一般的水红。就我觉得水红这种颜色一般都是亮亮的唇釉啊、镜面唇釉啊之类的质地才能达到那种柔和的水红的感觉。Except there is a problem, it stains. Which, from a longevity kind of perspective, is probably not the problem. But of all of the lipsticks, this is so far the first one that stains, just FYI. But the stain is so pretty also.
She's so upset that she hasn't even had time to apply her makeup or use... Bedor! Ay! Estela, no! Movie night!
So last but not least, we have Viva La Vergara, named after Sofia Vergara, aka Gloria from Modern Family. When I first had Viva La Vergara, gosh, almost feels like a tongue twister. When I first had Viva on, it just looked like Glowing Jet, except in a matte version. They are very, very similar in shade. Let me show you. This is matte Viva La Vergara, and this is Kissing in Glowing Jet. They look a bit more different in the camera than they do on my lips. I was very surprised. This is supposedly the deepest shade in the range, but it is still a very casual, daily, I would not even call it nightwear. There is no nightwear shade in this entire collection. So let me try it on the lips for you. I feel like I'm running out of vocabulary. Viva La Vergara almost reminds me of Walk of Shame, or Bond Girl, but not as brown as Bond Girl and not as red as Wolf of Shame. It's like a muted brownish pink that's very similar to Glowing Gem but feels a tad more mature, or you could say retro. The matte texture really gives it that timelessness. It almost feels like you're walking out of an old picture. Nano. It's Nano playing with a cat in the background. It doesn't surprise me that my favorite shade is a Matte Revolution. It does surprise me that Viva La Vigara is such a light shade. I was expecting it to be a lot darker. But this is like a brownish, muted, berryish. It's probably a slightly more mature color. It's definitely more mature than Glowing Gem. But I like that subtle balance between brown and pink so that it doesn't lean too much into either side. Nano is a super noisy plant. Nano! No! I think of all the shades I've swatched today, Viva La Vigara is the closest to the kind of brownish lip color I would wear in my everyday. The official description calls it a soft wine, which I don't think I entirely agree, but I could see where they're coming from. It's a very neutral shade, flattering across all types of skin tone, coupled with really great texture. I have nothing to say. This is definitely my hands-on favorite across all 10 shades.
It's Edward Enninful, a man who took most hopefuls' wildest dreams and turned it into his own reality.
Last but not least, we have Enigmatic Edward, which I will not swatch because it is just a shadeless, colorless, moisturizing lip balm. It's great for prepping your lips, despite I am a lazy bitch, so I did not bother prepping and priming my lips before I swatched all the colors. Nano! So this is it for the 10 shades of the Hot Lips 2 family. Some of the swatches I've been expecting, some have been unexpected outperformers. I think my favorite definitely includes Viva La Vigara that I'm wearing right now. I really like Pasty Red, and to nobody's surprise, I really like Glowing Gem. Apart from these three, which I think is really safe colors for Asian skin tones, I'm not saying the other shades are not great. I think it's just based on my personal preference, my personal aesthetics, my personal restrictions of my skin color and my lip color. These happen to be my three favorites. But all the other shades have their own unique characteristics. I feel we should all at least try to get our hands on some sample or consult more different online swatches before you decide to make a purchase. I definitely feel the upgrade in formula for the Matte Revolutions, and I hope to be seeing more shades in the future. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been a helpful video as a reference to if you're considering the Hot Lips collection, and I hope to be creating more videos for you in the near future, hopefully. Okay.